They're a bunch of lawyers. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let me play this real quick.
Welcome to Leaf Sales with Ian Nethercott and Larry Feldman live.
If you look at the last 4 years again, we've answered 41 million phone calls for dealers over the last 4 years with our AI platform. We've also handled over 150 million text messages. And so when you look at just those raw numbers, that's a 4-to-1, 3.5, 4-to-1 text to phone call. So I don't know. Here's what I can tell you though. I believe that the customer wants to be met where they are presently. If that is text, voice, video call, if they want to be engaged and engaged instantly.
My time. So I thought that was interesting, Larry, because I was watching I don't know what I was watching. They were interviewing Mick Jagger, and I guess they were talking about Mick Jagger versus
Springsteen, that he said, I just go to entertain.
Yeah, he says, yeah, I'm not really interested. People aren't really interested in my opinions.
I'm here to entertain them, yeah.
People really don't care like what I think. I'm not there to lecture people.
Listen. Everybody's entitled to why? I'm out of this damn thing.
You're in both, man. You're doubling up on us.
You got Larry in stereo.
As if one isn't too many.
That's okay. It's a stereophonic thing, man.
Let me get out of
So I had to give him credit for setting the reporter straight. He said, hey, man, like, I'm not here to lecture anybody. Like, I'm just here to entertain.
People don't want to be lectured.
Yeah. I'm not going to a rock and roll show to get a
come out and come back.
College lecture. That's not why I'm here. So I thought that was pretty astute. But the other one that was a real funny for me, at least this week, was an example of how not to negotiate. So if you want an example from an idiot how not to negotiate, it's this has got to be the funniest thing I've heard all week. So you build a bridge, you pay for the whole bridge. You ask the state on the other side if they want to pay, and they say no, I don't want to pay. And then when it's built, you go, oh, I want half the money. They said, oh, okay.
Listen, Ian, I was doubled. So what really drove me crazy was Springsteen.
Yeah.
When people have no sense of irony. Okay?
Oh yeah, that's true.
It used to be you stopped at the water's edge. You didn't criticize overseas. He's in England where they lock you up if you make an email they don't like.
Oh yeah.
And he's talking about an abridgment of rights in this country.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but the thing that was crazy wasn't so much that. I mean, I remember as a kid, I think it was Born in the USA was a big album. And I think even some politicians got in a little trouble using songs from it or whatever. But you wouldn't think any rock and roll person would lecture an audience. That's not really their bag. Like, why are you even talking about that?
Listen, there's only one real rock and roller.
Okay.
His name is Bob Dylan.
Okay.
He is the only person that embodies what rock and roll should be, and that's why it's impossible to go to his concerts. Bob gets up and sings his songs, and you can't tell which song it is. And I'm a Bob Dylan fan. He don't care. He was the greatest folk artist of all time. He went electric. They booed him. He's a Jew, and he became a Christian. Then he went back to being Jewish. He does what he wants, when he wants, which is the real rock and roll spirit. But unfortunately, if you ever saw Bob in concert the last 20 years, it's horrible. If you want to hear him, Russell nod his head, you can see it on YouTube, or you have the Bangladesh album. The best Dylan is him playing at Bangladesh. He's backed up by George Harrison on slide, Leon Russell on bass, and Ringo's playing tambourine. But they're all nuts. They're in business. They're like a car dealer. They do what they have to do. They go with all the trends. I love Mick. The Stones are my favorite. But when disco was up, they decided to play Miss You, which was a pretty damn good song. Everybody goes along.
Larry, that goes back to my old joke. What did the two deadheads say to each other when they ran out of weed?
What's that?
Well, this music sucks.
Listen. I
That's
asked
a good
a
one,
friend,
Mike.
a friend said to me, "Don't you like the Grateful Dead?" I said, "Listen, I don't even want to have sex for 6 hours, much less listen to music for 6 hours."
I dated a woman when I was in high school, and her brother had every Grateful
What, had sex
Dead.
for 6 hours?
No, he had every Grateful Dead bootleg like that you could buy. So we had these. There's like little cassette after cassette after cassette. And I'm sitting there going, "Why would you want more than one? Like, what would be the reason to do that?"
The only band that you want to hear stretch out, in my humble opinion, is the Allman Brothers,
Oh
who
yeah,
were probably the
Yeah.
greatest American band.
yeah,
The two arguably the greatest
Yeah.
guitar players if you throw out Hendrix
Yeah.
with Dickie Betts and Dwayne Allman, unbelievable singer and
Yeah.
organ player, and
Oh, yeah.
in Greg. That band was amazing.
oh yeah.
But,
No problem with them.
For 6, 7 hours, too long.
But
Hey,
like
Tony T.
a collection of entirely one thing. That's a problem.
Tony T puts his vote in as always for Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah, I'm a fan. Absolutely.
Fan.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Who were you talking about, Larry? Okay.
Oh, we were talking about Grateful Dead.
Playing
Oh.
way too long and just stretching stuff out, into infinity.
Well, we were also talking about Mick Jagger, who was interviewed, and they asked him about lecturing people. He said, "Yeah, I'm not here to lecture anybody. Just here to entertain them.
And I
don't lecture anybody."
How dare Springsteen say we're bridging people's rights while he's playing in England where they lock you up if they don't like what you say or your emails.
Well, I didn't mean to get totally off track, but we're talking about lifting people up, I believe. And I have to shed a shout out to Russell for all his thoughts on the show on Monday, which was a great show. If you haven't watched it, it's about breaking down the silos. And if you're curious about quick snippets from interviews I've done for CX, I've got about 8 or 10 up. Some really insightful interviews from some heavy hitters from OEMs, but there'll be more. I guess lifting people up, Larry, where did it come from? Where do you want to start? What's the deal?
I want to. It's funny. I talked about this in class today, guys, ladies. I had just so much fun. I had 28 people in the class today, and when I got off, when I gave them a break for lunch, I found out I got 5 different people hired at different places. Just a fun day.
Yeah.
But what I told everybody was, we underestimate our power as human beings. And I said, listen, you're all a very upbeat class, but everybody has a bad day. And when you have a bad day and somebody smiles at you or flirts with you or they're nice to you, it's amazing how they can automatically lift your spirits. So if we think about the power we have and how much fun it is to make somebody feel a little bit better, I just think it's a great thing. And we have to battle constantly because there's so many people that are miserable and want you to be as miserable as they are. So I think it's kind of our duty and a blessing when we get a chance to make other people feel better about themselves.
I have something to share there. Unfortunately for me, I lost both my parents in a car accident when I was 27. So that changed the trajectory of my entire life, but it also changed the way I look at things. And I love that quote, the way you look at things change. But more importantly, there's a few things in your life you can't change for whatever reason. They're just not changeable. But everything else, if you put in the right effort and you have the right attitude, is changeable. But sometimes people get stuck in a rut. They get stuck in a place where they just can't get out of it because they just can't think their way out of it, or they're stuck in a point of view. And I think that's really what gets people down that rabbit hole, is they really need to take some time, maybe unplug themselves from devices and really think about, how they can solve for X or how they can move forward. And I think in a lot of cases, people that are in those challenging situations have that point of view. I was at I think I was getting a coffee the other morning. There's a guy who's just having a really bad day. And he was like, well, what do you do? I'm like, well, I work. He goes, well, you don't want to know what I do. I said, well, maybe I do. Maybe I can help you out. Like you're clearly looking like you're going to shoot somebody or something. So yeah, I mean, sometimes all people need is a little shake them up there, I think, in my opinion.
Great.
Who wants
Ian, I'm convinced that the only thing that really matters in life, all the things that we think are super important, the only thing that really matters is mindset. everything in your life is goes one way or another based upon your mindset. And there are so many people walking around with their heads down, downtrodden, beat up, convinced that the world's against them, that they can't get themselves out of that mindset. And we got to help them do it.
I agree. The only thing we really have under our control is our time and our attitude, how we use our time. You've all heard me tell a story. It's not a lie. I didn't make it up. I was in an airport. A guy was wearing a fancy suit. He had a nice Rolex on, and he was crying and screaming and cursing because the plane, I'm not making this up, Russell, was 8 minutes late. And I couldn't take it anymore. And I walked up to him and I said, "It sounds like you're having a bad day. This happened." I said, "Hey, do me a favor. When you get to wherever you're going, go to the pediatric cancer ward in town and tell me how bad your day is. There, for the grace of God, go you or I." You know, I always quote my dad. I thought I was bad off with no shoes till I met a man with no feet. We got to count our blessings. We got to be glad we're alive and good things can happen. Hey, Gene Lytle is on. He's not off and on. Gene, what are your thoughts on this?
You're muted.
I apologize. I was on a phone call for half of it. So if you want to give me a recap, then I can tell you.
The recap is life is short. It doesn't make sense to be grumpy or downtrodden, and that it's incumbent upon all of us to raise up as many people as we can with a kind word or a gesture.
I 100% agree. Like you said just a second ago, you're worried about not having shoes when you meet somebody that doesn't have any feet. It can always be worse no matter what out there, guys. And there's so much bad and negativity in the world that it's nice and refreshing when somebody comes across somebody else and has something good and uplifting to say. And
Gee, Rhonda and I were discussing a quote. She was afraid it would be offensive, but I'll say it now. When you're dead, you don't feel anything. You don't know you're dead, but everybody else feels the pain. It's the exact same situation when you're stupid.
And you can't fix stupid either.
Well, how many people do you come across that are hell bent on being miserable? Like this,
I come across them everywhere.
I mean, you can't talk them out of it.
That's
the way to run their life. It's crazy.
Einstein said, "Avoid negative people. They have a problem for every solution." Hey, we got Christian on. Last time he had to disappear. Christian, how you feeling? How are things going, my buddy?
Guys, man. Oh. I don't know. Oh, I don't know if he's on. Yes, no.
He unmuted and now he disappeared. Christian, are you with us? If not, we're going to jump to Sandy.
Christian's here, but he's in the black somehow.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Sandy. I don't know what Christian's doing. He's Kaizen though. He's Kaizening it.
I was watching because unmute.
Yeah.
So Christian, it'll be fun when you figure it out. I'm looking for it. And
Go ahead, lift them up, Stan.
That's exactly what this room needed, another Christian.
Wait a minute. What's wrong with a Jew? We gave him to you.
what are you talking about?
I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just, I came in like a minute or two late and listening, and misery does love company. At least that's what my mother used to say all the time.
Your mother was correct.
Right. And I think, the wise woman who I was blessed to have in my life used to say it takes one of every kind to make the world go round. Right. And also, sometimes maybe it takes somebody who seems to be bent on being miserable to have a good example of a bad example. I used to tell my daughter that when, when she was in middle school and the bullying started and this and that. And I was like, you just got to sometimes you got to take these things as a good example of how you never want to treat other people, right? And how you never want to be. And I also, especially after this session last night, right, with veterans in automotive and listening to Damon Lester tell his story, and share. I also really recognize that people go through different seasons, right? And sometimes that season.
Hey, Sam, can I interrupt you? I don't want to.
No, let me finish. Let me finish.
But then let's jump to Wendy because she's working in Bend, Oregon, and she's still on the job, but she jumped in. As soon as Sandy's done, Wendy, we'll get you in.
And the thing is that sometimes people are in a season. And the worst thing you can do is say, oh, just pull up your bootstraps, right? Sometimes, right? Because poo-pooing someone's pain without understanding the framing around it could really hurt even more. So I think it's a balance. Just like everything, it's a balance. And Larry, you mentioned gratitude. But you didn't say the word gratitude, but
attitude of gratitude is everything. And I'll tell you, I've seen it a million times. People say, I know how you feel, and they really don't know how you feel.
Anyway, so as usual, and I probably will jump out early because I got to get up early and go to WIA, go to Austin tomorrow. So
love it. Wen, I know you're jumping around on the job, and we're so glad to see you. We're just talking about how important it is to lift up the people around us because they need help and they need a little inspiration. Wendy's dealing with a really nice but crazy group of people, and she's doing whatever she can to lift them up before she strangles them. Do I have that right, Wendy?
Yeah, and they're right around me here, Larry, in the room. So thanks for that.
And listen, folks, I'm from Philadelphia. Strangle is a term of endearment. No, it's the women. The women are always good. We were talking about the guys.
I was going to say, surely not us. So I want you guys to meet them. So everybody scoot up so they can see it on camera in the screen there. So this is Mariah, raise your hand. This is Christy. And this is Marissa. And they are the new BBC team here at Auto Kings. And Larry's
Hello.
And Larry's going to bring us to the report.
Well, you all are learning from the best.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you on the show. Wendy is laboring fiercely to get that place rocking and rolling. And the three of you look smart. You look nice. And people don't appreciate what a BDC brings to a dealership, but trust me, the people in this program do. I'll never forget when a guy came to me and said, he was cursing, this damn BDC, why they bring this guy in? I sat with the guy, told him 2 jokes, and we made $5,000 on him. It's amazing how you do everything but dance naked on the screen to get people to come in, and then when you come in, the salesman go, why'd you bring him in? Maybe to sell a car, stupid.
Sandy, we need HR.
Yeah, I don't know what Larry was doing there, but there wasn't quite a swear there, but it was a little inappropriate. Anyway, go ahead.
You're cooking dinner. Just don't dance naked anywhere.
And she's one of my great
That was our prior notice anyway.
And you all are so super lucky that you are learning from the best.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Yes, you are.
You believe it. So that's Russell Hill. He's Fixed Ops Marketing. That's Larry Feldman, Career Changers. That's Ian Nethercott, Auto Hub Show. That's Sandy Zanino. She's HR. And who else? That's Rhonda Wenner. And Rhonda, show me your swear jar. That you need to deal with these knuckleheads. I don't know where Rhonda is.
Wait, I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
Let me find me and I can tell you the jar.
There it is.
Wendy, you weren't here last week. We've renamed it the Brook Furnace jar.
Good. Was she on the show?
No,
Not to be.
can't afford it.
You hear her in Chicago from New Jersey or Connecticut, right?
Yeah. Well, we're waiting for David to comment. I'm sure there'll be some profit margin there.
Hey, I just Venmo Rhonda for all my swearing.
Andy, if you saw my post, we're looking for questions for people to ask, for us to ask live on Friday. So if anyone has any questions, we got Wendy on. So if you guys got any questions that you want us to ask Wendy live, we'll put it out there.
Christian is struggling with his.
Yeah, Christian can't unmute or can't do audio, so I guess he's just listening in
Can't do
today.
anything.
I just want to know if you're getting the BDC team a taco truck this Friday.
There he is. What are we going to do? David has spoken at length today.
I just think that if the BDC does a great job, that while you're in your podcast, they should have a taco truck taking care of the BDC team. That's just,
Not, I would never throw you under the bus and
Just
tell you. to do
throwing it
that.
out there.
Yeah, just something out there.
Hey, Wendy, question for you.
Oh, hey, Kristen. Oh, that's Tony T.
Yeah.
Tony T.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I was debating this with somebody today, since you have your BDC team there. Does a BDC agent need to know if the car is there to set an appointment?
What do you think, guys?
No.
Yeah. Yes. Do I need to use the swear jar?
Go ahead.
I'll be nice.
I'm ready.
Freak yeah.
No. You do not need to know if it's there to set the appointment.
We need to know if it's at the Bend or the Redmond location, Tony, because they're 40 minutes apart.
All you need to know is that they're coming in. Then find out if the car is there. If it's not there, call them back and switch them.
So
Just get the appointment.
Yep.
This store is an anomaly, you guys, because they don't have people. It's not 13% of their people that actually buy what they search for. It's the flip side. It's 87%. They've got lifted trucks, lots of really cool Subarus the last 20 years, second gen, and the people seek after their vehicles, and we ship them all over the country. They're really, really incredible. AutoKings.com. You can check them out.
And it's new, used. What is it?
Used.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So used vehicle may be a little different, Tony, on that regard.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Okay.
If that used car is gone, they have to switch. So why not book the appointment? Invite them in, then find out if the car's not there. If it's not there, call them back. You can always unwind the appointment. Yes, they'll be disappointed, but you'll have alternatives. But you need to do it right away.
Agreed.
Book the appointment, find out if it's there, find your switch vehicles. If the car's gone, call them back, give them the bad news. They're not going to be pissed. They'll be disappointed, but tell them about the alternatives. They have to switch if it's gone, guys.
That's right.
Guys, what's the daily thing that you have to do first thing in the morning? Walk the lot.
Yeah.
And then what they do is they're checking out difference between trim levels. What's Volkswagen Golf TDI versus TSI? Is it the badge? Is it the head? Then they're coming in and they're checking the website right after they've had a visual on the actual vehicles. They're doing that daily. They're doing it together, and they're getting product knowledge there.
I love it. You know where I'm at 6:30 in the morning, Wendy. Walking the lot.
Yeah, exactly. So
Clubhouse.
Did we ever put that like in a poll question on LinkedIn or just like to another like
Mike?
in any of the like Friday, polls
about BDCs?
like Clubhouse? Just about what their dealer's philosophy is that do you just set the appointment or do you tell them, hey, I don't have that, but here's what I do have?
Well, BDCs their job is generally to set the appointment anyway. They're not asking that many questions because the salesmen seem to want to do that, and that's part of the reason they fail, right? They're trying to sell a car with a phone. Sales stuff.
David, I don't tell them what I don't have. I tell them what I do have before I tell them what I don't have.
No, I know what you do.
I never ever say I don't have it first. I always say, looks like we have 3 or 4. Unfortunately, one car you're looking at, it's not here.
But this store is an anomaly too, in that they change the inventory instantly, Tony. If it's on the website, it's here and it's available.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah, and we set the appointment and get them in. But I did explain to them, for example, if they're on a Subaru Crosstrek or a Forester or a WRX, we have 29 Subarus in stock. Because Bend, Oregon is big on Subarus. So we have them grouped not by body style, but by make. Because there's a lot of Lexus loyal people here, and there's a lot of people that are second homes and such here. There's an upper echelon, and there's sports minded or skiers or hikers or etc. It's a very unique community. Even at the Planet Fitness I go to every morning, they've got one freaking TV, you guys, versus 20 everywhere else I've been around the country. Because they're about people and about what's in front of them. They're not watching what's happening everywhere else. It's like they're in a bubble. It's fabulous.
Yeah, I'd love to come out and see it. Ladies, you are going to kill it.
Yep.
You're going to really, really well, and Wendy's your gal, so congratulations on your new
Yes, she is.
Yep.
And then we're going to leave you. I wanted them to meet you, and I wanted them to get a taste of the wonderful things that are in our industry because they're all new to automotive.
Oh, we have so many different things. I'm sure Wendy will tell you that you could plug into. A lot of us on here will spend 3 hours a day in other types of rooms or Zoom meetings, from
fixed ops to all things car biz, to all things used cars, to lethal sales, to you name it.
Excuse me, Russell, what's number one every other Wednesday? Hello.
All things fixed ops.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yep. And on Sunday,
The human side of AI.
Oh shit.
She was prodding you there, but you weren't accepting the prod.
But Wendy, you are now doing exactly what I thought the show
You get
was
squares,
talking
John.
about, and that is mentoring people. Thank you.
And thank you. We're gonna bring them up right. None of them has any automotive experience whatsoever, but they've all got great critical thinking skills. They've got one worked for a vet office, one worked for they both work for a number of different ones, a graphics artist.
Oh my God.
So
One of
this
my
is a
best
Subaru
BDC
store?
agents ever was a receptionist at a veterinarian clinic. She just killed it for
Is this Subaru store? Is that right?
It's a lot of different brands. AutoKings.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're building a service center in 6 months, Russell. So you're on our list, but yeah.
I love it.
Ladies, you know you have the right person when she won't hire a car person for your job. You know you've got the right person.
That's right.
Yeah, but now we're gonna corrupt you since you're on this channel.
That's right.
They weren't already corrupted. See, are they my peeps or not?
Yeah.
And you guys know my energy. Me and Christy, we're so, both of us are so ADHD. At least I think that's what I am. No, you are. Yeah, well, you are. And then I have to go. Wait. Let me finish. Don't forget what I'm saying. Hold on. So, Christy paused. Okay. But anyway, we don't want to take over your show. I just wanted you to meet the reason why I'm not with you all, and let you get a little dose of what wonderful people they are, and how I told them 2 weeks from now, like we've got a little start, stop, because we're transitioning an entire culture from no BDC. We're only the second BDC in the city of Bend. Everybody's got internet sales cradle to grave. But like you said, want to sell the car over the phone.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a transition. There's a number of different people that are the guys here. There's 3 owners. They're sometimes remote, sometimes here. So we're handling all that the last 2 weeks. So these wonderful ladies can just come right into an almost figured out process. And we're, bridging the gap between sales and BDC, who moved my cheese kind of thing. But we're going to get there. We're going to be banging it out by the time I leave here June 30th. We're going back on Drive Centric, Drive Centric, Healer Center. And then we're going back to VinQ from Viato. And that's going to be next month. So I'll probably be back a couple weeks next month. So it's going to be a marathon. What's up, Sandy?
I just wanted to say welcome to automotive to the club.
Yeah, wow.
Welcome to the industry.
Yep. Wendy, are you rebuilding the entire store? Is that what you're doing? Sounds like you're rebuilding the whole thing.
Well, so I'm that thing that I want to be the human, like we said, I want to be the glue to help them with marketing, to help them with tools, to help them with they've had so many pitch slaps from vendors that really don't care, with solutions that don't fit their culture. So all the way down to the phone system, nobody has DID numbers. They're ringing the phones for click to call to their cell phones. So I'm getting the girls DID numbers and soft phones and headsets so that they're not bound to their desk phone. So yeah, we're bringing them into 2027, not even 26. And it's been a wonderful ride, and the culture is shifting. And I know that the owners are going to have their aha moments any minute. Well, that's why she said to do it that way. So I'm choosing my battles in the meantime, driving some traffic. I have 3 of my virtual agents banging it out, setting appointments. They've been doing that since the first week of July, and building the process and all that in there so that we can just shift over. And then when my people leave the end of the month, then they're going to take over. So thank you guys for letting us invade your show. We're going to leave so you can have the last 30 minutes without us, but and do some more training for another 30 minutes. But thank you guys. So
Thank you.
Before you go, Wendy, have the girls introduce themselves.
Well, introduce yourselves. Hey, this is Mike Larkin. He's an AI god. All right, introduce yourselves. Mariah?
Hi, I'm Mariah. Christy. Marissa. Nice to meet you all. Nice to meet everyone. Thank you. Thank you for
Come back anytime.
Appreciate
Come back anytime, ladies. Join us.
We might just keep her here in Bend.
Yeah, they might just keep me here, guys. Ciao. Over to the right corner, please. Right bottom corner.
Okay.
Right behind my bottle. Yeah. Okay. Ciao.
How about it? Oh, Christian is on. You figured it out, Mr. Younger. Can we hear you? Can we hear you? What? No, can't hear you. Who wants to go next? Tony, you want to go next? You got the bridge photo, I see. You're muted.
Maybe now I can talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I gotcha. I got to jump. I'm headed off to study the word. And once I'm done studying, I'll come back and share it with you. Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Gary.
Okay. Car church.
Is that Christian? Can we hear you?
I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, you're good now.
Look at me with my computer skills here at 6.
Yeah, I saw Kaizen. I'm like, yeah, you clearly have to make some
You know what?
changes.
There's only like 15 different prompts, and if I try every single one of them, I'll eventually get it. So,
Yeah, well, yeah.
I love the subject. So a couple thoughts about developing people, or the satisfaction. So I guess one is, the first thing is kind of like helping somebody discover something that they're more than they're capable of. So I mean, watching somebody that it's more than just like watching them learn how to sell a car. It's like maybe they didn't think they could do that, so they doubted themselves. So watching the confidence, kind of replace that uncertainty is I think nice. The other thing is, let's face it, they're beating the odds. So I mean, if they make it in the car business, they beat the odds, right? I mean, most people don't make it in the car business. Larry, you hire people constantly, and they're constantly, actually, you've got a job because of high turnover. But it's one of these deals to where you don't see a lot of them make it, and it's so nice when you see them make it. And that goes to my third point, and that is this ripple effect. So I'm going to send you guys something that I got in March, and it's from a guy that I brought into the car business. And so now he's a GMS at a dealership up in Milwaukee. He's been a GM. He's moved up, and I mean, this guy and I've known each other 25 years-ish, maybe 20. I was probably trained 5 years into the car business. I was probably 25. He was probably 19. But anyway, just watching somebody that you hired that like calls you back or emails you 20, 30 years later and talks to you about success and talks to you about like how things have paid off. And then in here, I mean, he's just saying, hey, you changed my family's life. So, I mean, when you get a text like that or an email like that, Larry, it's got to make all the people that didn't make it worth it, right? I mean, that's it to me.
Christian,
it makes my day. It makes me want to keep doing what I'm doing, right? And they always come at the best time. They always come at a time when you're low and you're like, man, no one gets this. No one picks up the phone. Everybody, and they always come at the lowest time. And this one did. So, I think that's what I really love for, is getting these emails and texts.
Christian, I'm having, every once in a while we get our brains beat in, but I'm having a really fun week. I have Rhonda will share the pictures. I had 28 people in the class, and I wanted to get a tote bag to carry all the applications. I wanted them separate, and I wouldn't fit in my little, computer bag. And I went down and I tapped on a guy's window in the finance office, and he jumped up. He says, Larry, look where I am, man. You got me hired a few years ago. I had 6 people in this building that I hired years ago. Every one of them's management level, and the one guy that's still on the floor is the top sales guy. It's the greatest feeling there is.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
And that's when you made impact too, right? I mean, these guys grew beyond. I mean, you know what I mean? And that's another thing is, you ever watch a new person come into the biz and it's like their eyes just get wide open to life. I mean, it's like, oh gosh, I can negotiate on things. And it just kind of like opens them up, because it's kind of like why Tony Robbins has people walk in the fire. It's to teach them that, hey, if you could do that, what else could you do? And it's like, I didn't know if I could sell cars. I didn't know if I could do this. If I could do this, what else could I do? And then you watch them like, if you had a dealership, Larry, so you got to see them. And some of you guys have worked in stores, so you watch people as they developed. And you just watch this person go from kind of like an average swagger to like all of a sudden now they are just, they're feeling it. And it's kind of cool to watch that too. And it affects other parts of their life, not just car sales.
I agree.
Yeah, it's also very interesting if you go back to locations you haven't been to in a while to see what's changed there and who's still there, but more importantly, where they are. I agree with that 100%. I mean, I used to manage a large territory, touch 68 stores on a regular basis, and it's always interesting to go back to those stores years later now and see where they're at. So yeah, I would say that yeah, the bar is pretty high, but if you can meet that bar, you definitely can see that. But we haven't heard anything from Russell, David, Gary, or Mike. So whoever wants to start.
I wonder how many of those 68 stores that you used to go back and take a look at, that 95% of them are still doing the same damn thing.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up. So I was training a store in the small town of Winnipeg, Manitoba. So it happened to be a Nissan Infiniti store because that's who I represented. And I had two business managers that I work with. I also work with management. And one of the business managers was a step seller, and he'd been selling things using step selling for years. And we were training menu selling. So we trained both of them on it. And the younger lady who was working with them picked it up and started selling. And I remember going back and visiting with them. And I said, well, you know, yeah, you can keep fighting me on this, but this lady who's got, you know, you got 20 years on her experience wise, she's obliterating your numbers and you're just resistant to it. You should just start doing it. So it would be interesting if I went back today, 9 years later, to see if he's still there, number one. Number two, if he's adapted to it. But, you know, what was funny, the funniest experience I had was a dealership I work with in Victoria, which is on Vancouver Island. And every time I went in there, the business manager on the Infiniti side used to fight me for a good half hour before he'd listen to anything. And after I met with him, I'd meet with the owner of the dealerships. And I remember coming in one time and he was working in a different position. Because every time I'd speak with the owner, I'd be like, what's with this guy? And, you know, what happened there was the guy learned something, but he learned something by not changing. So I think either way you have impact. But what surprised me is I had exposure to so many different positions in a dealership for such a long period in such different cities and markets, was that the vast majority of people listened and did it. But some of them who didn't, they just didn't get better. Right? It wasn't that I was like, you know, the second coming of Jesus Christ or something. I was just giving them tools to make them better at what they did. But some of them just didn't want to listen to it. They just thought they knew better, right?
Well, you do have a Messiah complex.
All right. All right.
I have a little quick story that kind of goes with what Christian was saying, if you guys don't mind.
Go for it.
So back in 1986, I won't date myself. I was really heavily in debt due to medical bills, and I had 3 jobs. Right, I wasn't in sales, and my uncle, my wife's uncle at the time, said, "Hey, you know, you need to get into sales so you can make some money and get out of this debt." And I'm like, I can't sell anything. I'm not a salesperson, you know. He goes, well, you need to get in the automobile industry because I spent 9 months. He didn't tell me 9 months, by the way. He said he spent a lot of time in the car business and you can make a lot of money in the automobile industry. And I'm like, nah, I don't even like car salespeople. I'm not going to be one of them, you know. And he's like, listen, you need to change your life. This isn't about whether you like car salespeople or whether you like the industry. It's about you setting yourself up to change your life. He goes, but I can't sell anything. I was like, okay, so let's talk about that. What's the one thing that you cannot sell that you know absolutely there's no way you can sell? And I kind of laughed a little bit because I was about 315 pounds at the time and only 5'9". Still 5'9", but 195 now. But and I said, you know, I couldn't sell a membership to a health spa. Well, immediately he said, that's what you need to go do. I go, no, I just told you I can't do that. He goes, you're not understanding, Gene. If you go and do exactly what you think you cannot do, once you accomplish that, you can do anything. And 6 months later, I got into the car business and was salesman of the year, second year, third year in a row. Number 7 in Acura for customer service nationwide, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So going back to what Christian said, it's all about mindset and it's about doing what you think you can't do, and then everything else is easy. Thanks for the opportunity there.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So Mike, tell us what the words of the Messiah says since you're on that trick. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I always, I always go back to this acronym FAST.
Okay.
F-A-S-T.
Yeah.
And FAST stands for what humans can control.
Yeah.
So you can control, the F stands for you can control your feelings. We're not dogs. Like any animal that's in a bad mood, you can't change that bad mood. You know, we as humans, if you're in a bad mood, change it.
Yeah.
Because we can. The A stands for act. We can control how we act. If you're acting badly, act goodly. We can control that. Also, you can control what you say, right? I mean, that's obvious. And we can control what we think. So FAST, feel, act, say, think, is what we can control as human beings. And to be a positive spin on somebody else's life, remind them of past.
It's great thoughts there. Really appreciate it.
That's
Gary?
my Messiah complex.
Oh, that's your Messiah comments. Okay.
Yeah,
does it come with a staff too? Does that come with that?
How do you know the Messiah has a staff?
Seems to be a popular portrayal with the staff. I don't know. Merlin, the Messiah, same thing. Yeah.
That was Moses. That was actually religion.
Was it Merlin? Okay, I don't know. Wrong person.
Nice try.
So today was actually an interesting day that goes along with a lot of what we're talking about. So Wednesdays in the auto industry, by my world, is the used car manager goes to the auction and nobody is at the dealership operating. So as opposed to going and visiting dealerships and expecting that kind of response, I went and I shifted and I went and visited a bunch of equipment and agricultural stores, dealerships. And I actually had an appointment first thing this morning with a big group called United Ag and Turf. And so my program, Ag Guard, fills some voids that they don't have with John Deere coverage. So with that, I had a really nice general manager who I've been meeting with, and he invited me back in to meet with his salespeople who were waiting for me today at 9 o'clock when they asked me to come back in. And then I was able to go sit down with the service manager and go over the program as well as the service advisor. If I attempted to try to do that in a car dealership, how much aggravation would I have received from everybody? Well, you can't do this and you can't do that. I was so impressed with how cooperative everybody was. There's a few other ag dealers, and I decided to go in and visit them. And I had wonderful conversations in every one of the facilities that I walked into, because I came in and I said, I'm here to help. I'm here to find where your manufacturer's OEM stops and where we can come in and help. You've now got low-term financing for 72 months. So now it's kind of like the auto industry. And some of these ag dealers, the most you can get is 4 years on a John Deere. So we can come in and do 3 more years. So the difference, if I went out in Wednesday and I went to go to 5 or 6 dealerships to try to say, hey, I want to do some training on a program, the aggravation that I would have had to go through to accomplish that, I was able to go into 5 or 6 ag stores and they all want me to come back in, and they're going to let me explain what my program does. And if it makes sense, they'll agree and move forward, or they'll tell me it doesn't work. So it's I'm looking at other industries. The auto industry needs to try to take a breath and say that everybody's not an enemy. Everybody's not ready to steal from you. there are good people out there with good programs that if you cut through the noise, they're there to help you. And it's just disappointing that the auto industry just got itself to being so tainted and everybody just being guarded. So other industries are open for change. They know that technology is the future and they're willing to listen. So, I plan on continuing to work in the ag industry, but I want to continue to try to show the auto industry is that this is no different. You need to keep the customer for life, and you got to win them in the service department. And that's where the growth is in the future. So it just reinforces is that customers do want help. They just don't want to be sold, and they don't want to be, worried if the information that they're getting is truthful. And the more dealers can be transparent and truthful and upfront, the better off the neighborhood's going to be, and their businesses are going to grow. That's just the way it starts.
Well, there's two opportunities you might want to look at, Mr. Gary. One of them is a company called Octane. So Octane does financing for RVs and also for power products. They also do cars, but RVs and power products are their big markets, North America wide. The other one, you might want to talk to Larry. I hooked him up with a group that does RVs called Fraserway. So they also do manufacturing of RVs as well. But the other one that came sort of, I guess, by an interview that I did, I can't release the interview till after CX, but it's a GM division called Car Bravo. And I don't know how much people know about Car Bravo, but Car Bravo is the evolution of what used to be the certified use program for General Motors. Now, I learned a few things about it. Number one, they can certify any maker model under the GM program, which is unique. B, I was asking them all kinds of questions about extended warranty on these certified cars, whether it be, a Chevrolet or a Cadillac or a Toyota. There's definitely some opportunities there for the dealers that are Car Bravo dealers that are selling those Car Bravo cars online or in store that need extended warranty options. So there might be an opportunity there. There's 1,500 General Motors stores in the U.S. who are on Car Bravo now.
That's all. And on top of that, I am spending a lot of time with Brandy Lindgren and her team with Disclose.
Yep.
Because that is a wonderful program for these equipment dealers that haven't gotten sophisticated yet.
Yeah, Brandy's a former sponsor of my show. I know her, love her to death.
Yeah, no, I
She's
mean,
great,
so
great
I think that their product is wonderful, and that's where I'm able to go into dealerships and help them connect all of their unconnected programs.
Yeah,
and that's a perfect solution.
Yeah, and she focuses a lot on power sports and boats and other things that people really don't focus on. So if that's a market,
they're excited about the ag industry because we're making really good progress with the ag. They're underserved, and they just need a little bit of technology, a little bit of love, and help them complete some operating systems that they can work off of, because they're still using stuff from 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, definitely an industry that needs a lot of help. But I think you're also right on the farm products and on the, Caterpillar and other dealers. There's a lot of those dealers out there that nobody pays any attention to.
Bobcat, they're all there. Yep.
One day you should ask me what the negative part is about Car Bravo, and I'll tell you.
Oh, I literally don't know anything about it. It was my first experience. So
I've been working that from certified to Car Bravo for years now.
Yeah, well, we should have a talk about it. I'm going to be meeting him in person in Detroit.
It's actually kind of a fucked up situation for dealers. They don't realize what's happening to them.
It's definitely interesting.
Overviews.
Yeah.
When you drop an AI image over it, your Google VLAs don't work right, number one. So you're getting them not found. And number two, you don't throw auction inventory on the dealer's website to sell cars that aren't even there.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Okay, so it is interesting that you can certify everything. So but this is going to take up too much time, because I can talk to you for hours about that project.
I'm curious. I'd love to have a conversation. Yeah. I mean,
it's forced on dealers. They really don't have a choice because they got rid of the program. For initially, you got the ability to opt in or not. they did some crazy thing with rebates.
Okay.
Where they were putting rebates on used cars, which is illegal.
Interesting.
You know, too. So I mean, there's some, but again, you're talking about a product that started in Europe. They got kicked out of Australia 4 years ago. Okay, so and again, I'm just going by what people told me on this.
Yeah,
and other car people years ago.
I'm all ears. I just asked
Yeah,
questions. I didn't know anything
when
about
Jim
it.
Ziegler passed away?
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, Jim was a anti-Car Bravo person. He kind of gave me a lowdown of it before he passed. But again, whatever we have to deal with in a car business, and OEM kind of forces on us, we can sell through it. So you got to find the positives, right?
I saw two opportunities.
I
saw two opportunities there. One was an electric car, used car warranty. So if you're selling that product, they don't have anything like that I could ascertain just by questions.
I mean, there's some positives definitely about the product, but the invention of it is kind of like having a CarMax type of thing where you can sell cars from all around the country.
Oh, okay.
In one area.
Yeah.
And you're marketing for a manufacturer that has cars at the auction to then get sold out of your inventory. The deal kind of, other than back end, you really don't make shit off of it either. So I mean, it's kind of an interesting situation, but you know, that's part of your franchise agreement, and you got to play the game with General Motors. You know, in Europe, they don't have a choice.
Well, not all the dealers here, not all the dealers in North America are part of it. So it's not 100%. He said they only have 1,500 locations.
Yeah, it's going to get to the point where everybody's going to have it. And those dealers that don't play, if you notice that dealer body on GM is getting thinner too.
Oh yeah.
We keep saying there's X amount of dealers, but I see an awful lot of dealers keep closing on the CDGR side and the GM side.
Oh, our family owned one for 70 years, so I know that firsthand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know about Car Bravo. It was interesting from that regard. The other one that's interesting, if you're not aware, is the certified program at Porsche Motor. That's another interesting program that is interesting from a warranty perspective. But I think the EV extended warranty part is going to be a big play, because if they can certify anything, then that causes a whole bunch of things, whether they're retailing it from an auction or retailing it locally. So I'm also going to be doing an interview with Amazon Autos. They're hopefully going to be in Detroit once we get the PR thing. So I'll have more news on that soon. But yeah, Car Bravo, I have some details. I don't know everything about it, but I'd be happy to have a conversation.
Yeah, we should talk about it one day, but I know the pros and cons, but I also know how to market it well. Some other dealers weren't utilizing it. I was selling cars for it because it was a closing tool.
Well, maybe a conversation with I'm talking to the guy who runs it, so there may be a conversation there for you.
I can provide EV warranties.
Well, that was a big hole in the program, like significant hole in the program.
Yeah. So
like the first question I asked, I was like, "What about this?" And he's like, "Ah." So I'm like,
for the room topic, I had a couple interesting calls today.
Yeah.
One was my son, who he kind of said, "Dad, I'm your legacy." And I said, "I don't really look at it that way." He goes, "Well, I'm very grateful that you didn't give up on me and helping me train and learn F&I." He goes, you taught me CX. You taught me how to sell a car." And I said, "No, actually the team around you did. And those guys, I know them all, and both groups that you worked with. And which is why I specifically kind of forced you to go to work in those stores." But I knew he'd get the experience.
Yeah.
He's been in Colorado with Porsche, just having a blast. And he just kind of sent me some pictures of him driving down through the mountains in the different Porsche products. And he said, "Dad, he goes, I'm just living the best life." And to me, that was wonderful to hear. But then my friend Kelly called me from a Hyundai store in Tinley Park. And she said, "I've only met 3 great used car managers in my life." She goes, "in 4 different groups that I've worked in over 25 years. She goes, and not only taught me used cars, but taught me how to book out a car." She goes, "I got a 427 bought today." She goes, "and I booked out the car the right way, and I landed them on the right car. And I got to tell you," she goes, "I couldn't have did it without you." And I'm like, "Really?" I said, "I haven't talked to you in 6 months. So how'd you do it?" And she goes, "Yeah, but," she goes, "and it just fed my ego." She goes, you know what? She goes, you're still the best used car manager of the top 3 that I've worked with. She goes, and I've worked with dozens. She goes, I wish. She goes, you were managing the inventory here.
Awesome.
And I said, man, I really appreciate that. She goes, no. She goes, you empowered me as a minority woman from a salesperson to the BDC, to BDC manager at Napleton, to at Bill Jacobs being the internet manager and a sales manager. She goes, and I work with a lot of good team there. She goes, but overall, she goes, if it wasn't for you teaching me how to deal with customers, I wouldn't have got it. She goes, what I'd like you to do is come in on a Saturday morning and tell everybody what you saw in me. And I said, I can't do that. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I saw a very capable young woman. I said, but I also saw a lot of trauma that you dealt with as a person being adopted, and knowing your parents and knowing your brother, and knowing that, where you came from. I said, but I knew, because you had a lot of trauma in your life, that you were a chameleon, that you could mirror a customer, that you could be somebody's best friend and best concierge when you needed to. And no matter what type of asshole was sitting in front of you, whether it be a GM or a sales manager or an owner or an upset customer, that you could put a smile on your face and say, I understand. And you would work with them and you would figure out what the real problem is and get through the bullshit. And I said, you know how to do that, yeah? And I said, but do you really want me to tell people that I know why you're successful? It's because you were able to adapt with your trauma? And she said, maybe not all that. She goes, but you're about to make me cry. And I thought about it, and I said, man, I'm about to cry now too. So, but it's those human things that you don't realize how you impact on people's life. And it was nice to hear that, because I needed that today too. I needed that confidence boost, especially after getting beat up by Mike Larkin with EEAT the other day for an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
No, 2 hours.
Was it 2 hours that we talked the other day? Heck,
And speaking of your ego, your head's gotten so big it can't fit the camera.
I gotta sit back.
Ouch! I'm waiting for you guys to have a spar on the show next week.
Are we sparring?
Yeah.
And you know what? You guys on Friday.
It's typical that you picked this time to talk as Rhonda walked away from the swear jar.
Yeah. Well.
Don't think I didn't notice it.
No, I never say that about Rhonda. You don't know about it. But it is fun to get caught swearing, because that seems to be, it's like I can't go 20 minutes without dropping an F-bomb. So
maybe you missed your career choice. Maybe it should have been in stand-up comedy.
What the funny thing about it is, if you ask anybody in my family, they will tell you that I have no sense of humor whatsoever.
Oh, come on.
No, they'll tell me, they said, you do not just...
You're just too serious?
Chicago.
Why so serious? Come on.
With everybody in my life that, I flip a switch and I jump on stage, and it doesn't matter if I'm at home or I'm on the floor. I can laugh and joke with you as a salesperson.
Yeah.
But in my personal life, I take everything so fucking serious.
Rhonda?
I cannot deal.
You missed a couple.
See? She couldn't hear me.
I think I just in time, didn't I?
I take everything so serious that they'll joke with me, and I'll be like, but it doesn't work that way. And they're like, Dad, it's just a TV show. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't work that way. If you do this and do that, that's what causes that. And really, it's because of a lack of oxygen and this and that. And if you don't have this, and they're like, but it's just a movie, Dad. It's just a TV show. It's just a question. It's just a joke.
Yeah, the guy who wrote it didn't understand all those things.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't fucking get jokes. Yeah, there it goes. And I said, a lot, and truthfully, I really don't, because I take stuff really too serious. I have a hard time with humor. Yeah. But most people are like, oh, but you're always laughing, and and I'm like, that's when I'm at work, man. I'm a different person. In my personal life, I don't mess around. I don't get it. I'm way too serious in my personal life. Yeah. It's like I'm too competitive, because you give me a video game and I have to be first in 24 hours. And I won't sleep for a whole day.
Well, that's considered therapy.
I just wake up psycho.
Maybe that's the issue, a lack of therapy.
Yeah, I'll stay up for 2 days. I remember, I used to get a new Madden every year, and I would just stay up. Somebody told me I need to take gummies, and I wouldn't have that problem. Oh wait,
No, you'd have other problems.
She just left with the BDC team there. I almost threw her under the bus there and said, "Yeah, you're over there." I said, "Yep," but by the end of the night with that team, you take a dummy. Wendy is great.
We are out of time. So I guess
I couldn't go through stuff without swearing though.
Yeah, it's all good. Russell, did you have any final thoughts? We didn't hear from you much.
He's just gonna say right on.
I don't know. He's on mute. Anyway, we're out of time, so I guess we'll have to see everyone same time, same bat channel next week.
Let's do it.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
right. Bye now.
Right on.
Good night.
Bye.
Have a good week.
Thank you for helping the industry get better today live.